Welcome, my beautiful souls. And Pisces, welcome to the first month of the new year. So, this is going to be for January 2025, which, by the way, is a universal year nine. And I do feel like you should, know what that means. I have a couple of videos I did to talk about the universal year nine. I think I have them under a playlist that says Universal Year 9. But, doesn't matter if you listen to mine or just research it so you understand that. I also feel it's important to know your personal year number um, for 2025. And very quickly, I'll tell you how you arrive at that. You add your birth month to, like, let's take me for an example. So I was born in September, a 9. I was born on the 13th. So I'm going to add the 9 plus the 1 plus the 3 and then whatever the universal year number is. So you do not add your birth year. So it's your birth month, 9, my birthday, the day I was born, the 13th, plus the universal year 9. You add that all together. I'm in a master number 22. Oh, the master builder for 2025. So if you arrive at a master number, which would be 11, 22, 33, or 44, you leave it at that. But you also want to add those two numbers together. So 22, 4 will be important. Like the number 4 will be important for me to also know, how that relates to 2025. So I hope that's not too confusing. But let's say you add it all together and it comes to like 19. Well, you do want to bring it down to a single digit. So then you would take that 9 plus that 1, which would be 10. Then you take that 1 plus 0. The personal year would be a 1. I hope that makes sense. A lot of people have been leaving their birth month and day um, asking me to calculate for them, and I have no problem doing that for you. So your life path and your personal year number are two different numbers. Your life path number stays with you your whole life. Your personal year number changes every year. Um, so what is your personal year within a universal year 9? I feel like that'll give you a lot of help, guidance, and clarity. But anyway, so this is going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to the readings now, and it just warms my heart that you pay attention to your intuition. And I say that because I do read through my spirit guides who do connect to yours. So, if you feel guided to a reading and you're like, but wait a minute, I don't even think I have Pisces in my chart. Your guides there's probably messages here for you. I just don't feel like people end up in a reading unless they were meant to, or you'll know very quickly. So, anyways, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, those intuitively guided. You could certainly be in love with the Pisces. Oh, Pisces, beautiful heart. And I know some people are going to be like, well, not my Pisces. But on a core level, really quite a beautiful heart, very psychic. Um, Sometimes you don't know that. Intuitive. So that means you really want to pay attention to your intuition. But anyways, so whatever brought you, I say welcome. We are going to use a few different decks. We are going to use Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. We are going to use the Gilded Tarot to really clarify or go deeper, like I like to say. This is why my readings are long. I do life readings, and that means every area. You know what I mean? Like, let's cover everything, and that's why the readings are long. But if you're not into a long reading, that's okay. Anyway, so for your main spread, we're going to use the Light Seers Tarot, and I also brought out the Romance Angels in case love comes up, which it almost always does. I don't want to say always, but almost always. we're going to use the major arcanas for like our bullet points. For those who are new, this is something, well, actually, I started doing it years ago, but I kind of got away from it. And I brought them back into the picture, and now I just love them. So for the last couple months, we've been using them. I shoot for 3 to 4, but whatever comes out is usually what I will take. But let's go ahead and open up your reading. Let me get my final drink of coffee. Um, by the way, this is a great time to also ask your guides to give you signs of confirmation. You know, sometimes you just know. You just know what you know, what you know. Um, but I feel like, asking your guides, is this for me? You'll receive like angel bumps. You'll just resonate with the reading. Or let's say you said to your guides, have Sandy say a certain number, a color or what have you. Doesn't always work, but a lot of times it does. So, it's like a little test for our guides. Okay. Let's start with Mother Mary. I'm going to bring the lid down. There we go. Everything is always pre-shuffled before you come. But I do like to give it a shuffle with you here also. Let's give them a cut. Let's see what Mother Mary's words of wisdom for you are today. Again, for January. But remember, time is fluid. And what I mean by that is there are going to be certain things that are opening up in January, but it may just be the beginning. Caring, caring. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. Sounds a little bit like the Empress. Heaven cares for me, first and foremost, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. Thank you, Mother Mary. Um, and, sometimes I am guided to pull another Mother Mary after the reading, after everything has been said and done, so to speak. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear. But let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas, Pisces. Shout out to Sam's son, Justin, who is, I believe, the 26th. I do a lot of personal readings for Pisces. Interesting, I have to say. And I've been doing personal readings for so many years. I don't even know how long. But I do know that I feel like Pisces reaches out for a personal reading more than any other sign. So I'm very familiar with Pisces energy. And by the way, I'm a Virgo sun, which is your opposite. But I often feel that opposites can learn so much from each other. Okay, let's go ahead. And begin the tarot portion. Temperance. Beautiful. So, first of all, card is Sagittarius. Um, but this, Temperance's first message is patience. Because it feels like patience has, or Temperance has something in store for you. It is about also trusting in divine timing. You know what I also love when Temperance shows up? Is the things that I cannot control. Sometimes I just need to step out of the way and let divine do their loving work. So sometimes I just need to hand it over. But Temperance is like something coming, and it is about divine timing. And it may have taken some time. Maybe I stopped believing because it's like, come on, Temperance, I've been waiting and waiting. Well, that's where the patience comes in. It's almost like whatever she wants to present to you, she wants to make sure that um, it's complete. I often feel she's mixing the loving waters of the soulmates. So we'll see. It is divine help. And I want to remind you, our spirit guides they have walked this earthly plane. They have been born of woman. Our angels have not. Our spirit guides are always helping us, always guiding us, always sending us signs. Our angels really need our permission. So our angels know what's going on in our life. So does our whole spiritual team. But we do need to invite them in. Um, so let's just put that out there. I feel like somebody needed to hear that. Well, Temperance is asking for patience, so I have to give it to her. We have the Empress, beautiful. And I felt the Empress is through Mother Mary's message. And we have the High Priestess. This is your intuition. Interesting how I also spoke about how intuitive your sign really is. You already possess these abilities. But sometimes we don't know it until something calls for us to use it. But this definitely, it definitely means that you're going to be guided, and the sign will be through your intuition. Now, I love that the High Priestess is following the Empress, though, because the Empress definitely pays attention to her intuition. And the Empress, she does understand patience, because if you think of her as like the mother figure, right, and you're carrying a child, well, you want to carry it for the full 9 months. And I feel like that's what Temperance is saying sometimes. Like, we don't want to rush certain things because they may need a certain period of time to really, be the best that they can be, so to speak. The Empress is also very creative. So I would be definitely open to receiving like a lot of epiphanies this month. Great energy for anything you're doing in your creative house. Again, instinctively knowing, but again, divine's energy over this. Some of you could be a single mom. But the Empress is sitting there with this beautiful bounty on her lap. And I don't know why I wanted to say this, but I feel like I really don't need anybody else to help me create my bounty, right? My harvest. Well, okay. That's just too many. That was me anyway. All right, I just want to see if anything else wants to come out. The Empress reminds you to keep your heart open. So is Mother Mary. So I find that interesting that you have two energies already to talk about an open heart. Okay, I feel like that's it on that part. I like that the High Priestess is mirroring Temperance also. So it's again almost like I can let go of control of certain things. First of all, yes, put those intentions out there. Like how would you like to see your life? What are the things that you would really like to create this year? Whether that be a business, working with your hands, I feel for someone, but creating, maybe you're making jewelry. But then I feel like there's a man who builds things. And I feel like again, this is representing like you being very bountiful this year, but maybe it's starting right now. And both Mother Mary and Temperance asking you to keep your heart open. There's got to be a reason for that. I mean, we should naturally live like that. That's how the Empress naturally lives. But that's because the Empress, to me, has really walked the walk of all the queens. So she's got a lot of experience behind her, a lot of wisdom, spiritual wisdom, earthly wisdom. She's not afraid to use it. Even though she is really a gentle soul, she's also a very powerful soul. So anybody who misjudges her, she'll put them in line very quickly, in a loving way, but still in line. All right, let's do the light seers, or begin of the light seers. So we open with the Two of Pentacles, like a question. Do I or don't I? The Two of Pentacles, they call it the Juggler's card. And it can certainly be relating to your creativity. And when I say creativity, I mean that in all formats, like, what you do for a living. It's just you're using your creative energy, maybe like all of a sudden I feel like, I may be doing like ad slogans and it's my creative thinking that allows me to make the most creative ads. But anyway, I don't know why I went there. So, Two Pentacles, I feel like it's about using your logical mind, but it does put the ball in your court. It's like Temperance is saying, I can present something. Then ultimately, it is up to you whether you say yes or no. But your intuition being right beside the Empress makes me feel like if this is something that's coming towards you that you know, is going to benefit your life. And that's really what I'm asking in the Two of Pentacles. Is this something that's going to enhance my life, or is this something that's going to pull me back, weigh me down? Um, and I feel like it's really the logical mind, but it's also connected to divine. Interesting. Queen of Cups. Probably you, but look how she's connecting to above. So if you're seeking wisdom, guidance, this is you definitely receiving it. I like how she's got this key around her neck. It's like a key that opens up the next door, a new door. She's got that Tibetan singing bowl. So she feels spiritual, like in tuned. I don't know if that was the right word. Balanced. And maybe you don't feel that yet, but it's definitely showing you connecting to above. And I feel like that key, it means something. All right, let's take them in the order they came out. Hello, Will. Your destiny. To me, that means that you're moving into a destined period of time. And that often means to me also that potentially certain seeds your soul planted certain seeds, and this feels like the time for one of those seeds to come to fruition. Maybe more than one seed. Again, she's got the key to unlock this next door. She is connecting to above. Let's just say to her spiritual team. Interesting is like she has this crown that's above her head, not quite on her head yet, but feels like it's representing like your growth. All right, let's keep going. We have the Five of Wands. Interesting. We have the Seven of Wands. And hello, Ten of Pentacles. Under the Two of Pentacles. Wow. I can tell you this. Right now, the wheel is really in the middle of the reading. And that is your destiny. That can mean like you're entering into a destined time. And not that all life isn't destined, but you do have free will. And I feel like the very next card, the Five of Wands, is free will. That's drama. That's fighting. Um, and then the Seven of Wands next to that, standing your ground. However, I feel like this person in the Seven of Wands is like she's rising above the drama. She's not allowing herself to be pulled in. I mean, look at her. She's like in prayer mode almost. I do feel like this is you. And I feel like if you've been dealing with like some difficult energy, drama, I don't know how else to say that. Five of Wands is the energy where I feel like nobody wants to back down. It's interesting because this person's starting a fire. And in the Seven of Wands, I often feel that I'm putting out a lot of fires, like over and over and over again. Yet I also feel that sometimes we just have to learn that if there's drama around us, that we don't have to get pulled into it. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's not allowing herself to get pulled into it. That means you've been dealing with someone or people. Could even be like at a workplace. Some of you may be thinking about changing jobs, leaving a job, doing your own thing. This is a great year for that. I have to tell you that. This is a great year, as was last year also. Um, this just continues it. This is really a year that's going to speak to your spirituality. And again, you're connecting. You're connecting right to divine. It's like you have an open channel. So I feel like in the Five of Wands, it's just something that I don't want to deal with. And I feel like you're not dealing with it. You're rising above it. It's almost like you put yourself in this bubble, right? Protecting yourself. But I feel like you still had enough. And then we come down to the Ten of Pentacles. Mm, House of Abundance. But let's keep going and see what comes next to it also. Two of Swords under the Queen, looking over at the Ten of Pentacles. Two swords means that someone's wearing a blindfold. It could be just, it's not the Eight of Swords. It's a Two of Swords. So I feel like this is energy that we can overcome pretty quickly if we allow ourselves. This blindfold often is just something maybe I don't want to face, because if I face it, then I have to take action. You know what I mean? Because once I Listen, I feel like it's something you already know the truth about within yourself. Um, so I feel like take off that blindfold. And I feel the longer we wear that blindfold, the bigger that monster on the other side seems. But it's not a monster. You know, some of you, it's like you have been trying to make a decision of, I feel like moving away from, well, drama, fighting, egotistical people, people who say it's my way or the highway. And it feels like you're choosing the highway. You know, the two swords is also mirroring temperance. And I feel like because it's mirroring temperance again, if there's a truth that maybe I just don't want to face, but I need to, then temperance is going to help me with that. And when I say me, I mean you. I'm just a Pisces right now. It could have something to do with your money or even someone you're with. But let's keep going. Hello, Six of Cups under the wheel. Also mirroring Empress, the Empress. So Six of Cups can talk about someone that you have really happy memories about. Often feel this is someone from like back in the day. It can also be a previous lifetime. But there's a lot of happiness related to this energy, joy. Some of you may be making a physical move, and you may run across someone that you haven't seen in quite a while, but it feels like it's meant to be. Some of you may have already, like, you may have received, like, I don't really have communication, but I do feel like, for some of you, you may have already heard from someone, and it could be just innocent little, like, hey, how you doing type of things, but it's coming under the wheel. I feel like it's a soulmate, to be honest, whether this lifetime or a previous lifetime. Because remember, soulmates, they know each other. Like, I know your soul, you know my soul. Doesn't mean we recognize that immediately, but I feel like you would recognize it pretty quickly. I certainly may have tried to change this energy between this drama and you rising above it. You might have tried to put some effort in there, but Five of Wands to me is like if I'm expecting anyone in that energy to admit that they're wrong or back down, it doesn't, I don't feel like it happens, and I just have to accept that. People are who they are, and some people have no interest in changing. But the one thing you can control is you. Again, how she's rising above it. And I feel like not only rising above it, but thinking about potentially making a change. And I want to say that let's say you're thinking of beginning a business, but your question is, will I be successful? Do I know enough about a certain subject or what have you? I feel like this is saying that if you're willing to put your focus on something, and let's say it's your creative house, you have the ability to create abundance for yourself. Some of this drama could be coming from even people you live with, like family, but it may be coming from all different areas. All right, we have the Emperor. Interesting. So we have the Empress and the Emperor. And for those who do follow my channel or have been with me for a little while, you know that when I see the Emperor and the Empress in the same reading, the first thing I think of is my power couple. Though he is coming under the Five of Wands, this can also be a boss, can be a father figure. Some of you have been fighting with like a husband, a wife, or even like the father of your children. Normally, the Emperor is someone we can look up to. The Emperor and the Empress are very much alike, but also very different at the same time. The Emperor is someone who's more methodical. The Empress goes more by the seat of her pants. She really trusts her intuition, period. Both of them really are, have leadership abilities. But I'm wondering, with this Emperor coming under the Five of Wands, so let's see, he's looking at something. See what he's looking at. Some of you may find the perfect person to collaborate with. Doesn't have to mean like you're creating a partnership. You could be. But I do feel like, if I'm seeking like someone to collaborate with, you're gonna find it. We have the Hangman. Slow down, you move too fast. And with the Hangman comes the Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I feel like this is you. This Queen is like looking out into the future. Her sword is down. She's not in any type of defensive type energy. To me, that means that, if she's gone through something, she's now overcome it and she's thinking about her future. The Hangman is, it is a pause in the action. But I feel like this queen is really seeking the right time to do something because the hangman's seeking wisdom. I often feel spiritual wisdom, but that I can use on this earthly plane. And then this queen just feels so calm, just like in the Seven of Wands, which is normally defensive type energy. This is someone rising above it. And this queen, same thing. It's like she's so calm. Her sword is down. She's not being defensive. I feel like I want to take a card on the other end. Well, hello, lovers. Interesting. It's something made me take a card. I felt like I needed a match. Hello, lovers. So let's talk about the lovers for a second. First of all, it is a card of Gemini. The meaning of the card is a head over heart decision. That could be part of it with the Two of Swords here, the Two of Pentacles. I feel in the lover's energy, it's usually undeniable chemistry. The two sixes on the table, the lovers, ties back to the Six of Cups. So some of you may already know, like, I feel like this is talking about love at this moment. And I don't feel like the queen over here is like putting any I was going to say expectations out there because I feel like she really is trusting in divine and will instinctively know when it's time to like make a move, whatever it may be. Interesting that the Emperor is looking at the Hangman. So he may not be tied to this Five of Wands at all. And I say that because I feel like as we go along in the Seven of Wands, immediately it's like you're no longer giving attention to, those who, what do I want to say? Those just seem to cause problem after problem. But I do not have to get pulled into it. Really, this feels like the opposite of that. And not only can you rise above this drama, it looks like you do rise above it. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Another six. Beautiful six. This is victory and success. And I love here, the spotlight is on her. And I feel like it's saying to you that the spotlight will be on you. You know, Great energy for like anything that you may put on a back burner. Like certain gifts that you have. Like I could see her, singing or doing like a TED talk, something like that, where other people are, because in the Six of Wands, other people are paying attention to you. But it's because of action steps that you've taken. That's now your wisdom. And the Empress knows that. She doesn't look back and say, what the hell was I thinking? She looks back and says, what did I learn from that? How have I myself grown? Sometimes simply saying, I'm not going to get pulled into anyone's drama is all you need. And that feels like it opens the door. Look at that. Temperance right underneath your victory. So, divine is very involved in your life. I was going to say your love life, but, and yes, I do feel like your love life, but I feel like all parts of your life. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot, and let's just go ahead and go deeper. All right, let's give them a cut. And the reason why I cut them is, to me, it's a symbol of introducing them into the already reading that's going on. It's like, it's your turn now. All right, so we're going to start at the beginning, but we are reading it as a whole. This queen may be thinking about someone, and someone may be thinking about her. We have Judgment. This is your spiritual team, and they're calling you to the present moment. And the reason why they're calling you to the present moment is there's a potential rebirth, something new, something worth it. You know, your spiritual team reminds you that your signs, your guidance is sent in the present moment. A lot of times through your intuition, but that's not the only way. You'll just see signs, you'll see certain numbers, a song. Let's say this Six of Cups is someone you already know. You may start hearing like a song that reminds you of them. Something will bring them to the forefront of your mind. And I feel like just as it was meant to be. But then, unfortunately, we have the Eight of Swords. And it's interesting because I said in the Two of Swords, well, at least it's not the Eight of Swords. But then the Eight of Swords comes out. So, self created prison. But I have to tell you, if you're in that energy, and let's talk about what that means. The Eight of Swords means that instead of trusting your intuition, you're putting boundaries around yourself. Now, there's nothing wrong with boundaries, but are you blocking out the whole world? You know, sometimes it is I decide to take a pause. I decide that maybe because I've been dealing with a lot of drama, especially if it's in love at all, that I certainly don't want to repeat that. The Eight of Swords, especially next to Judgment, it's like Judgment. Your spiritual team is saying, we need you to bring these walls down and trust within us, trust within your intuition. The Empress does not carry the Eight of Swords energy. It's the opposite of what she would do. Because in the Eight of Swords, I'm not really trusting my intuition. The Empress always trusts her intuition. But maybe it's a process. It is an eight, so can represent a new beginning, just as Judgment is saying. But you do have to allow. I get this feeling that something really good is about to happen and it scares you. Maybe because it does feel that good and it scares me. The only one who can uncreate that prison, though, is you, the person who created it. And it is coming right over you. Look at this. The Emperor is now connected right to the Empress over the wheel, over destiny. Okay. That's why I was like torn because I didn't really feel that the Emperor was part of this drama. Now, let me just say this though. This could be two different emperors. Like one could certainly be like a boss, but again would be drama filled. Um, but then I feel like for some of you, it's you then making a decision that I'm not gonna work here anymore. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna create a business, or I'm gonna apply for new jobs. It definitely feels like you have the skills. Again, I don't feel like you need to know everything because when you think of the Empress, I don't often think of like college degrees. Doesn't mean she doesn't have one. It's more about her spirituality and her ability to truly trust it above all. But now the Emperor connected right to the Empress over the wheel. This could feel like very strong energy. And yeah, it could freak you out a little. But man, does it feel like it's meant to be. And I'm feeling this in all different ways. Like, I definitely feel it as you being successful. Success. Both are great at helping to lead other people, especially because they themselves have gone through it. They've gone through a lot. They do lead differently. Again, the Emperor, I put plans in place. The Empress, I go more by the seat of my pants. I allow my creativity to flow. And then we have the Queen of Wands coming over the Five of Wands and the High Priestess. That doesn't feel like you. It feels like someone else. But let's keep going. Unless, you know, I say that and then I start to feel that that flame is your flame. It's the flame of the lovers. So when I think of the Queen of Wands, I think of the Queen of Action. Someone who moves according to her desires, her passion. So interesting how at first I didn't feel like it was you. And maybe not everyone it's you, but I am starting to feel like yes, this is you. This is you. This is you saying I'm going to follow my own desires now. It's almost like you've given so much and now it's time for to allow yourself to receive. This is a queen that definitely follows her intuition. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Interesting because the Seven of Pentacles to me is like your tree of life. And I feel like the pentacles on this tree are your soul seeds, like certain seeds that I've already planted. The first message with the Seven of Pentacles, much like Temperance, is patience. And that's so a certain seed can come to fruition, can be, think of like an apple tree. I'm not going to pick that apple until it's ripe. Well, there's an apple coming ripe, if not more than one apple. When you see destiny and then your tree of life connected, feels like a good time. I say a good time. I mean, it can be a time of hard work, but that work really paying off. And when I say hard work, I feel, yes, you may have to put a lot of focus on it, but I feel like there's a love for it at the same time. Judgment saying there's about to be a rebirth. That tells me one of these seeds are coming to fruition and meant to be, just like the wheel. So this emperor and empress, they're just meant to be. But it is like in divine timing. All right, let's keep going. We have the devil, card of Capricorn. That can talk about temptations. Can be illusionary energy. We have the Four of Cups, discontentment, boredom. If you look at this image, though, this person is being offered a cup. And there is some dissatisfaction, like within my life right now. So this cup, I feel like it feels like a blessing, to be honest. But the meaning of the card is learning to use your spiritual discernment relating to anything that's coming into your life. The Eight of Swords, it won't help you. It makes it harder. Doesn't mean that your team can't get through to you, but will you recognize it as signs? Interesting also, this is mirroring Temperance, who is mixing the loving waters of the soulmates. And here comes this ace, here comes this cup. It's coming from, feels like the hand of divine. It's coming out of the light, but it is being met by some difficult energy. Will I or won't I? And, you may just question it, like, how do I know? How do I know this can be successful? First of all, I feel like with the Emperor and the Empress connected to each other with the wheel right there, I feel like it's more about just trusting, you know what I mean? Or like taking a step into it. But it does feel like love is heading your way, or the potential of love, because you do have to say yes. And that's why we opened up with a question. Should I or shouldn't I? But then your spiritual team comes right over that question. Trust us. Let us help guide you. Um, you know, some good things are worth waiting for. You're not happy at this moment. Now, doesn't have to mean in all areas of your life, but this would be an emotional energy. Emotionally, I feel, there's something going on. Um, you may be with someone. Maybe that's who's causing the drama. Maybe you're tired of it and you do want to change. Maybe you've been putting that intention out there and then you're very surprised when it actually comes back to you. We have the King of Cups over the Six of Cups. So this can represent you, Pisces, another Pisces, a Cancer or a Scorpio. But other than that, um, I'm going to forget about the sign and think about the person here. So this is someone as it relates to love, loves being in love, loves having that special partner by their side. Mirroring the Empress. The Empress wouldn't have it any other way. So I feel like this cup that's coming in, and let's not forget the Temperance is like mixing the loving waters between these two cups. So here comes this cup, and it feels like it's coming from this king or queen. But if I feel like what I'd rather you do is just like think of the energy. So, when I see the king or queen of cups, as it relates to love, I feel like they like being in love. They like having that special partner. Many of us do. We don't have to be a water sign to, love that energy. But it's coming right over the Six of Cups. And then, well, hello, Knight of Wands. Passion rushing in. Interesting. It feels like after a period of time where there wasn't action, where there wasn't passion, where there wasn't a lot of desire, now it feels like you're moving into a very desirable period of time, maybe even very romantic. It can be fast moving with the Knight of Wands. And I kind of love that it's coming out of the Queen of Wands because, again, she's definitely someone who will take this Knight of Wands and follow it, right? I move according to my passions. This could be a lesson that you've learned. Like I've done it other people's way for so long. Now I want to do it my way. Look at that, the Six of Cups again. Okay. Well, that's who's bringing in this passion. Pisces, this isn't just anyone. This is someone special. I mean, you are someone special. What it feels like to me is two people individually who have evolved in their lives. I have a feeling both of you probably have dealt with similar type energy, but I definitely feel both have like truly evolved in their life. So that kind of makes the Eight of Swords not fit, right? But maybe it's just that one area where it's like, like my money is starting to feel good again. My creative juices are flowing. Because I do feel like there's two C's. I feel like one has to do with your money and another one has to do with love. Again, there's that cup, there's the lovers, the wheel, connecting the emperor and the empress, and even the Knight of Wands coming over the emperor here, coming right towards the Six of Cups. Interesting because, listen, you know this person. And again, I'm not going to say it just has to be in this lifetime because just the energy on the board makes me definitely feel like it's soulmate energy. I think what I want to do, I'm going to bring these down and we will bring out the romance angels, but I want to go right in between this energy, right down the middle of the board. You know, it's kind of beautiful too, the judgment blowing their trumpet. It's also blowing the trumpet at the lovers. Kind of feels like divine timing to me. Now, I feel like real life, if I've been in like not such great relationships of the past, and with the devil here, I certainly don't want to be tempted to energy that, first of all, I feel like you yourself feel like you have spiritually evolved. And it feels like the person that divine is connecting you to is also spiritually evolved. You know, I feel like the emperor and the empress really want the same thing. They just may go about it at it, in a different way, but they ultimately come to the same place. All right, what else we have? We have the Three of Wands, optimism. You know how I said in the beginning of your readings, sometimes we just need to step out of the way? That's kind of what we're doing in the Three of Wands. Definitely a different way of looking at life, because I feel like where there was fear, now there's optimism. Three of Wands talks about living in the present moment, and that's what judgment, literally is connecting to, is asking of you. So you're listening. Three of Wands is, you're saying to divine that I know my ships will come in and I know they'll come in divine timing. And I'm just going to let go of the rest. I'm going to enjoy my present moment energy. Even if I can't find a lot of things to be thankful for, there's got to be something. Be thankful for you. Nine of Swords. Interesting because the Nine of Swords is now connecting the Emperor and the Empress over the wheel. Nine of Swords is worry, no doubt. But the meaning of the card is unnecessary worry. It's also number nine. And we're entering into the universal year nine. We're in the universal year nine, 2025. And that may mean, deep reflection, but you can find those answers. I feel like the Nine of Swords is like our earthly energy, and listen, I get it because I feel like someone is coming into your life And for some of you, you've been dealing with people who, again, are drama filled, uh, probably yell a lot, that type of thing. And you do not want to repeat that. I get that. This is not that same person, by the way. This is someone new, though someone old at the same time, if that makes sense. So, really, the meaning of the Nine of Swords, unnecessary worry. And if I have a lot of worry, then I need to reflect upon that because nine is also about reflection. So, what is causing this worry? Is it the worry of yesteryear? Have I moved it forward with me? Or have I cleared that energy? I kind of feel like not. You haven't yet, but I feel you will. The Three of Wands and Nine of Swords, again, two totally different energies. So it could be like, I'm going to make a decision here. I'm either just going to put my intentions out there and step out of the way and trust in divine, or I'm going to let worry rule the day. And I'm hoping the opposite. This connection may feel super strong. Look at this, the Ten of Cups. Wow. House of love, house of harmony, joy, laughter. It's like the father figure and the mother figure are home. They're together. Some of you may be connecting with someone who has children, and you may have children. It could be a single father and a single mother that then become a blended family, if I allow. Let's take one more. Look at that. What's so interesting, Pisces? I was just thinking in my head, or I was actually talking to my guides when I'm thinking in my head. And I said to my guides, our guides, I said, if this is a soulmate energy that we're talking about here, can you bring out the soulmates? Look at this. Not only did they hear me, they listened and they answered the question I had. If this is a soulmate, can you bring out the soulmates? Boom. Right next to the Ten of Cups. Connected to that Seven of Pentacles, what's meant to be. Patience, right? Patience first. Temperance is busy up here. She's making sure both these soulmates are in the same vibrational energy. I mean, they're looking eye to eye. And the eye is the window to our soul. Eye to eye. And it's also connecting this Six of Cups directly to a soulmate now. Interesting that it's all coming over the hangman. So, it all feels like it's happening in divine timing. That's probably why I felt like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. This is actually coming together. Like, I can't believe this. Yet, at the same time, I feel like we have to go way back to that queen, the Queen of Cups here, who's connected right to divine, who is trying to connect to divine. Again, that key. Well, now we know what door it unlocks. And she's very open. Like her position, I know you can't see me, her position is very open to receiving. I feel like first I'm asking my spiritual team to help me bring down these walls. And they will help you. And just the energy that's ushering in this love, your whole spiritual team. Our spiritual team answering my question immediately. I know I should have said it out loud, but I promise you, that's exactly what I said in my head. If this is soulmate energy, can you please bring out the soulmates? Boom. And now the soulmates are mirroring the lovers. How are we going to deny this? Right? Some of you could even be a twin flame relationship. How do we deny it? You know, where the Four of Cups go right here, where there is some discontentment in, let's just say, my love life, because it is of an emotional nature. You may be getting the rest of your life together, creating abundance for yourself, may not even be thinking about love. And then boom, it's going to show anyways. Some of you may have been thinking about this person if you already know them. Like if you've known them from this lifetime, you may have been thinking about them thinking about you. It's almost like this queen is making a decision of whether I'm going to make a move. And it does kind of feel like a physical move, though it doesn't have to be. Holy cow. I just love our spiritual team. So the soulmate's right next to the Ten of Cups also. What beautiful potential. So am I going to let fear stop this? Or am I just going to trust in divine? And if nothing else, take a step into it. That's what the Three of Wands means, right? I'm willing to, first of all, it's a change of the way I'm looking at life. This is looking at life through an optimistic lens. And again, it's about letting go of control of exactly how something must show, and instead just trust divine. I do feel like some of you, like you have put your heart behind walls. But I feel like your spiritual team will get behind those walls. And again, unnecessary worry. Look at the beauty. Yes, we have a few difficult cards, but other than that, you're definitely stepping into a destined time. That's what the wheel speaks of. So does the Seven of Pentacles, by the way. And I feel like you have, again, a couple seeds coming to fruition. Like that, the first seed, I feel like is for you to, like, improve, like, your finances in however you see fit. But it feels like, again, something being guided your way. I do feel like you do have to take action steps, as in all areas, because this person, you may hear from this person, and fear may automatically make you say no, where in your heart of hearts you want to say yes. That's why I feel like just stepping into it. I feel like the passion is just going to be undeniable, first of all. I don't know how. I just don't know how you'd be able to say no. I feel like what I want to do before we bring out the romance angels, I just want to look between the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. Get any advice on that. I mean, even though we know what it means, but I'd still like to go to Spirit and advice for those who have a lot of fear relating to their heart. Look at this, the Six of Swords. Moving on. Moving on. Here's what I love about the Six of Swords coming out right now. You have to look back one card. And you have to understand what it is you're moving on from. You're moving on from toxic energy. That kind of ties it back to also the Five of Wands, aggressive, fighting type of energy. This is you saying enough is enough. This is you saying no more. But you do need to be bold, because it has to be up to you. But I feel like there's no way I cannot recognize what has been toxic because I feel like it's very clear. It's just, can I overcome this? The answer is yes. That's what it's showing you, that you can overcome this. The past. This is about the past, but I feel like the recent past. And in a way, I feel like this may be what really opens everything up. When you just make that simple statement of not taking it anymore. I'm not taking people's drama. I'm not taking people who love me halfway and not the whole way because I know I deserve love. Listen, maybe you don't know that, but you do. You do deserve love. So, this is a great omen because this means that you are leaving these swords in the past, really where they're meant to be. And you're not allowing, hopefully, the past to, I feel like when you get like these heavy swords, the one thing you want to think about is, am I making decisions based out of fear versus what I feel like my intuition is telling me? Trust your intuition first. So, anyways, yeah, there it goes. Ties them together. Sometimes it can mean even your own thoughts. My like fear has held me back. The fear of making changes. Why? Well, because sometimes uncertainty of what lies ahead can be a little scary. But I feel like I have to go back to this queen over here who has her sword down. She's not in any defensive type energy, and she is looking towards the future, really without, again, putting heavy expectations. It's like she's being open. I mean, whoever's in this Six of Cups, who's ever in the lovers with you, who's ever in the soulmates with you, man, does it feel like it's meant to be. And this just feels like the right time. When I think of the Emperor and the Empress, I'm not really thinking age wise, though it can, like don't give up. Like if you want love in your life, um, but you feel like, well, I'm too old, who's gonna love me? Don't think that way. Don't think that way. I didn't find great love until I was what? I think 59. Holy crap. I just realized how old I am. I'm 64 now. Okay. I feel like the reading is so clear. So let's go ahead and bring in. We have the King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Interesting because we have the Queen of Swords here. And they could just represent like minded energy. I do feel for some of you, this is a potential of a twin flame where, maybe you tried to come together before, maybe you were together for a period of time, maybe you're much younger. Six of Cups to me represents younger energy. Um, and, it can still be loving energy, but maybe I just don't know how to love at this point, right? There's still a lot I need to learn. There's still a lot they need to learn. All right. So, I mean, we're going to go right across the board because you have loving energy everywhere. but you also have abundance everywhere. This feels like if I allow it, if I don't allow fear to rule the day, then I feel like there are some things opening up for you that are going to make you extremely happy. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. That's what you're doing in the Six of Swords. You're releasing, and forgiving doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone and call someone and be like, hey, I forgive you. Especially if it's someone in the Five of Wands, because they'd be like, forgive me for what? What do you, I didn't do anything wrong. So it's just forgiving within your heart. It just means you're not going to carry that weight along for this new ride. But it is something that we need to learn how to do. And sometimes it's forgiving ourselves for what we think that we have done wrong. Um, so let go of that past as much as you can. And what does that do? It really sets you free. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Connecting the Emperor and the Empress. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Sometimes that's a good thing because especially if I felt like I kept getting tempted back to like, negative type energy. Someone who, listen, we can fall in love with all types of people, right? And there are all kinds of levels to love. There's karmic, there's free will, um, soulmate, twin flame, there's all different levels to love. But now we're getting closer and closer to this soulmate because it literally says keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and excuse me, and expectations. I'm going to be honest, Pisces. I have a feeling that you don't even know that this is about to come together. Or has the opportunity to come together. Let's take one more. Express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture. Express your love. And I'm going to do one more. And I also, the first thing I felt is we don't always have to wait for someone else to contact us. Let's say there's just been someone on your mind, on your heart. Even though you've been living separate lives, you could have been married, they could have been married. You're creating success for yourself. They're creating success for themselves. Um, I forget where I was going with this. Oh, but yet, you think about them a lot. Like, be bold enough if you choose to reach out. Sometimes it could just simply be like a conversation that leads to a knowing. And I love that this conversation, first of all, heart to heart, turns to romantic conversation. It turns to romance. Forgiving and learning is so important here. because I really feel like that's what holds all the sword's energy. Hello, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Well, hello. So, what may start slow may then move very quickly. You know what you know. It'd be very hard to deny this type of love. It just would be. And I love that it's saying that your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. That means so is theirs. Because this is connecting you with someone else. I mean, hello. All right. I feel like I do want to take Mother Mary over this reading. Pisces is just feels like some dreams that are coming true, and they were not overnight, you know? Like, yes, victory and success over here, but it probably did not come overnight. Boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. Well, you have heart to heart conversations and expressing your love. Now, do I feel like this is, like I feel like I have to be careful here because I can because in the Eight of Swords, I really am creating boundaries. But what I'm really doing is creating walls. This is why your intuition is so important because that is your protector at the same time. Your intuition is your GPS for this lifetime. And, just think about like you're traveling to somewhere you've never been before. You need that GPS. You know what I mean? Like that GPS is going to help you get around. It's going to help you to arrive to whatever address you put in. So that's the only thing I fear with this energy is if the Eight of Swords, if those walls don't come down, then the boundaries that I create could be almost impossible to like overcome. And I do need to know that not all people love in the same way, like, because I do feel like for some of you, you're in a relationship, maybe still are, but it doesn't feel like there's anything left to it. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not telling you to leave a relationship. These are things that you need to reflect upon. But your spiritual team is asking you, well, first of all, to bring your energy to the present moment so that they can help guide you. So, if you really believe that, then you know you don't need these walls of the Eight of Swords. And that's why in the Six of Swords, yes, I do feel like it's other people's toxicity, but I also feel like some of it is within your own thought system. And the Empress and the Emperor together, connected by the wheel, just meant to be. This is the destined time. Um, will you or won't you? Do you know what I mean? And Temperance, who talks about patience, but then Judgment comes out, which talks about the present moment. This hangman way down here, where you really are seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this earthly plane. It could also be a pause, right? Like between for these soulmates, because again, temperance is going to make sure that they're both on the same vibration, that they can love for the rest of their lives. Right there with the 10 of cups, to me, that does mean for the rest of my life. And then engagement. First of all, talking about how your love life is ascending. That alone, if you think about the law of attraction, I must, I have to be what it is that I want, because otherwise it just won't make sense. I got to be open. My heart has to be open if love is something that I do want. Now, maybe I'm not even thinking about love, because for some of you, I don't even think you're thinking of love. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That doesn't mean that someone is not going to reach out. Some way, somehow, you're coming across this person and they you. Whether it start like through communication, like someone picks up a phone, because again, these heart to heart conversations, I feel like it's talking about the soulmates, not your past, because I feel like it's very clear. Like to me, it feels very clear, like what's got to go. And being in a universal year 9, this is the final push of what is not working in my life, who is not working in my life, and what do I need to do to improve my life. Remember, 2025, that final push, but it's to get you ready for 2026, which is going to be a universal year 1. Now, do we have to wait till 2026 to manifest? No, because the more reflection you do to really help better your life, the sooner I feel like you move into this well, abundant and loving energy. But yeah, I do feel like some reflection has to be done. I don't feel like in any way is this talking about like someone who's coming in that is then going to like ghost me no, because that's what temperance is asking you to wait for. Like, let's make sure both of you are on the same page, that both of you are open to love. Interesting how keep your mind open. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type in expectations. Well, the emperor and the empress are different, but they really have the same morals, the same goals. They're both empathetic, they're both caring, they both have great leadership abilities. But they are different, but yet very much the same at the same time, if that makes sense. Great love is worth taking the steps. You're guided, you're guided, you're guided, you're guided to take. And it's almost like, and then let the rest just take care of itself. Ultimately, you're standing here in a victorious state. But do I feel like, and temperance is underneath that? What's underneath that? That 5 of Swords. That 5 of Swords. Being victorious over toxic energy. Being able to overcome anyone who I was with who is more than happy to stay in a lower vibrational energy. As you yourself evolve, it's natural that what is no longer working or what has not evolved with you naturally wants to fade away. It's our humanness that pulls it back in. And sometimes it's simply the fear of change. Like, I'd rather have anyone than no one. But would you really? Especially if you know that this is like already written. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. It started with Mother Mary. Heaven cares for you. So keep your heart open to caring about yourself, others, and the world. Well, that describes the Emperor and the Empress. Wow. Hello, 2025. Some of you, by the end of this year, if not before, you may be either being proposed to or you're proposing the question to someone else. And I feel like the answer is going to be yes. I don't know how it could be anything other than yes, especially with engagement here, because I feel like you may be becoming engaged. The passion's undeniable. The love is really undeniable. And it just feels like it's already written in the fabric of time, guys. But you do get to say yes or no. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? All right, I'm gonna let that be. Pisces, I love you so much. I love your hearts. I just love you as a person. Even though we are opposite signs, I get you very, very much. And I know there's a lot I, as a Virgo, can learn from you on an emotional level. So I'm going to let that be. But I do want to thank you. I want to thank you for a great 2024. I want to thank those who've been with me for a while. I want to thank those who are new. Welcome to our big soul family. That's how I see everyone. I feel like we're all one big soul family. When I do a reading, in my mind's eye, you're all sitting here with me and we're just talking. I thank you for your donations. This month, all donations are going to my daughter because she's having a very difficult time. So, the person I love more than anything in the world. So when you help her, you help me. Um, and I thank you for that. But I know not everybody can afford to donate. A way you can help a channel is sharing the video, liking the video, if you like it. I don't want you to like it if you don't like it, though. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have said that. That's up to you. Um, but anyways, I appreciate you guys so much, and I want you to know that I do this for you, because I love you. And man, I just hope you love yourself enough to allow what wants to open up. It's a beauty after some hardship, and that is life, the ebbs and flows of life. But now you're going to the mountaintop and not alone. I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Oh, Happy New Year also. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.